Creating off-camera flash composites does not have to be difficult. Stick with us in this episode of Photography 180, and I'm going to show you how I use Photoshop to make it happen. So when it comes to a composite, we need to understand what it is to begin with. And it's the combination of multiple photographs into a single photograph. And in my case, using off-camera flash, I want to create a really dynamic image. We're going to take the two images I've shot during this engagement session. Now, the key here is creating two images, one with my lighting exactly where I want it to be. And the second is what I call a plate shot. So that's going to involve nothing else but my subjects, no other light modifiers or assistance visible. And I'm going to take those two images, combine them in Photoshop, and I'm going to use masking in order to leave the parts of the images that I want and erase the parts that I do not from those two images. And so you'll see I have my initial shot with my lighting assistant and the light visible, creating that look that I really want on them. And then I'm going to have my second frame, which is my plate shot. Now you do see here, slight bit of movement in between frames. I did not use a tripod. I normally do not. So I'm gonna go ahead and open both of these together into Photoshop. And now, first thing I get is obviously Adobe Camera Raw, and this is where I usually make my local adjustments. For this sake, I'm not going to adjust any of these images. So first thing I'm going to do is Command A, select all, and I want to copy this plate shot, go back into my original image with my light visible, and I'm going to double click background just to unlock that layer. And then followed by that, I will do Command V to paste my plate shot over the top. Now, first thing you need to do here is align these two layers before you start masking. So I'm going to select layer 1 and layer 2, go into Edit, Auto Align Layers. I'm going to leave it on the automatic setting here, hit OK. And again, as long as there's not much movement, Photoshop should be able to do a pretty good job here. So turning one layer on and off, you can see we've done an excellent job. Now, of course, we want to expose the bottom layer. So I'm going to add a layer mask to my top layer, and I'm going to invert it just so I can see exactly where I need to paint with the opposite color brush in order to remove the parts of the image that I do not want to be seen here. So I have a white colored brush, and I'm going to start painting out the areas where my assistant was. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten those layers down into one. What I still need to do here is correct perspective a little bit. So I'll do a Command Shift A to open up my kind of camera raw tools here, and I'm going to go down into geometry. I like to choose the last option here, which is our guided tool. Pick some reference points to correct the angle I was shooting at. I like everything to be nice and straight, so I'm going to pick some key points here to have as reference, and you can see our before after right there. So a lot better once I've applied that adjustment. We try as hard as we can to get this right in camera, but in the moment, it's not always possible. Now we still have some areas here in the corner. You can see where the cropping didn't quite fill in. I would just use content aware fill, push that right in. Now we have this beautiful off-camera flash image where I had my light super close to my subjects, but now they're not in the final frame. We can go from here and continue the edit, however you want to do that creatively, but that is the simple few steps you need to follow in order to execute an off-camera flash composite and put it together in Photoshop. Hope this has been helpful. We look forward to seeing you guys again next week on the next episode of Photography 180.